Hello, YouTube. Well, is it a day or is it just a busy day? A busy day. It's what? It is a busy day. So, sure, y'all have heard by now that Queen Elizabeth II has died. 70 years on the throne, 96 years old. What a life she had. Well, let's go back to the Memphis shootings. The Memphis Police Department then lodged, from my last one, of course. Here's where we left off. The Memphis Police Department then launched a citywide search for an, quote, armed and dangerous suspect, calling on some residents to shelter in place. Another shooting was reported at 7:23 p.m. in the area of Poplar Avenue and North Evergreen, where a woman has been shot and killed. The gunman fired the scene with the victim's vehicle, a gray SUV, Davis said. A minute later, officers responded to another shooting on Poplar Avenue and found a man who had been shot. He was taken to a hospital in non-critical condition, Davis said. Then, at 8:55 p.m., officers responded to the 800 block of West Rains Road, where a woman with gunshot wounds was pronounced dead, according to Davis. A short time later, at 8:56 p.m., the South Haven, Mississippi Police Department responded to the area of State Line Road and Highway 51 regarding a carjacking. Davis said, police said Kelly carjacked a victim at gunpoint. Taking a gray Dodge Challenger, leaving behind the gray SUV, the victim was uninjured. South Haven is just across the state line from Memphis.
Good job.
2 minutes later at 8:58, Memphis police spotted the Challenger on I-55 and a high-speed chase ensued. The chase came to an end and Kelly was taken into custody without incident. The chief said 2 weapons were visible in the vehicle when Kelly was apprehended. Numerous felony charges are pending, she added. The mayor says violence is, quote, not acceptable. Well, Mr. or Miss Mayor, whatever. You're right. You're a Democrat, Republican, I don't care. You're right. Violence is not acceptable. You're right. The string of shootings disrupted life in the city Wednesday as police issued alerts about their search for the suspect. The Memphis Area Transit Authority suspended its bus and trolley services, citing danger from the active shooter. Strickland said Kelly had previously been charged with criminal attempted first-degree murder, but pleaded guilty in April 2021 to a lesser charge of aggravated assault. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison, but only served 11 months and was released back in March. The mayor said, if Mr. Kelly serves his full 3-year sentence, he would still be in prison today, and 4 of our fellow citizens would still be alive, Strickland said. During the news conference, Davis thanked those who alerted police to the Facebook live stream. Meta, Facebook's parent company, said it's working closely with law enforcement on the case. The social media giant said it was in touch with the department shortly after police made their initial public alerts, and have since removed video content that may be related to the incident. Well, started off where I left off. So, now let's go to today's main news. Y'all, I know have heard by now, as I said, Queen Elizabeth II died at the age of 96. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning British monarch whose rule spanned 7 decades, died on Thursday at the age of 96, Buckingham Palace said. The Queen's oldest son, Charles, has now become King Charles III. The Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon. The King and Queen Consort will remain at Balmoral this evening and will return to London tomorrow, the royal family said in a statement posted on its official Twitter account, referring to Charles as the new king for the first time. The king said in a statement that the Queen's death was a moment of the greatest sadness for him and all members of his family. We mourn profoundly the passing of a cherished sovereign and a much-loved mother. I know her loss will be deeply felt throughout the country. And of course the world, but I added that anyway. The realms and the Commonwealth, and by countless people around the world, he said in a statement. Crowds of mourners gathered outside Balmoral Castle and other royal residences, despite heavy downpours in parts of the UK on Thursday evening. Many bought flowers and lit candles, some looking visibly shaken by the news, of course. In keeping with the royal tradition, a written statement announcing the Queen's death was displayed on the gates of Buckingham Palace. In a striking moment just after the announcement was made, the heavy rain battering London stopped and a large double rainbow appeared over the palace. Elizabeth ascended to the throne in 1952 on the death of her father, King George VI. She oversaw the last throes of the British Empire, weathered global upheaval and domestic scandal, and dramatically modernized the monarchy. She lost Prince Philip, her husband of 73 years and the longest-serving consort in British history, in April last year. But she's with him again. Elizabeth ruled over the United Kingdom and 14 other Commonwealth realms, and became one of the most recognizable women to have ever lived. The Queen's 4 children were at Balmoral Castle when the announcement was made. Charles rushed to the Scottish castle earlier on Thursday together to be with his wife Camilla, of course. The Queen's daughter, Princess Anne, known as the Princess Royal, was already even there. Prince William, the heir apparent, arrived at Balmoral Thursday afternoon together with the Queen's other 2 sons, Prince Andrew and Prince Edward, as well as Edward's wife Sophie, the Countess of Wessex. Prince William and his wife Catherine have taken on the title of Duke and Duchess of Cornwall. They used to be Cambridge, but now they're Cornwall. According to their official Twitter account, Charles and Camilla were previously known by that title. The couple are now known as the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall and Cambridge. Catherine remained at Windsor, where their 3 children attended their first day at a new school. Prince Harry arrived to Balmoral after the announcement was made. His wife Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, was not traveling with him. May I just say something about that? Thank frickin' God. Meghan? No! Frickin' hate that woman. Frickin' piece of junk. God, this Meghan, you make me sick. That is one unroyal woman right there, and I'm surprised. I wish people would see it. Oh my gosh. She's just so stupid. Now, the last public appearance, the late Queen was last seen in public on Tuesday when she formally appointed Liz Truss as the UK's new Prime Minister. A photograph from the audience showed the monarch smiling, standing in the drawing room in Balmoral, carrying a walking stick. Truss is the 15th and the last British Prime Minister to be appointed by the late Queen. There have been concerns over the Queen's health ever since a brief hospital stay back in October. She has experienced episodic mobility issues, which have at times caused her to withdraw from official engagements. To be honest, I'm actually quite glad Meghan didn't go, because that woman does not have a place in the royal family. Freaking illegitimate marriage, but she does not hold a place. You know what? I should start referring to Meghan as that woman, the Queen Mother's nickname for Wallace Simpson. But those concerns grew... Huh? Who would not like that? That's... Oh, well... But those concerns grew deeper on Wednesday. Back to it. But those concerns grew deeper on Wednesday when Buckingham Palace announced the Queen had postponed a virtual meeting of her Privy Council after being advised by doctors to rest. On Thursday, the palace announced the Queen was under medical supervision, but her condition was reported as, quote, comfortable at Balmoral. As her children rushed to her side during the day, it became clear that the situation was serious. Her death comes 7 months after the Queen marked the 70th anniversary of her accession to the throne. The UK officially celebrated the Platinum Jubilee in June with days of pomp and pageantry, or whatever it is, and she made several public appearances in London. And, you know, It was so sweet to just watch Queen Elizabeth II talking during the Trooping the Color ceremony with her great-grandson, Prince Louis. It just warmed my heart. Great-grandma and great-grandson. But now she'll continue to watch over him, and that I know. Global tributes. Messages of condolences started pouring in from around the world immediately after the announcement was made. And yet I found that out in my history class. I looked up her latest news, and it said she had died, underscoring the global impact the Queen had made during her 70-year reign. Speaking outside Downing Street on Thursday, Truss said the Queen's death was, quote, a huge shock to the nation and to the world. You know, when I first heard that, I felt a little something in my body. Of course it was shocking, but Queen Elizabeth II was the rock on which modern Britain was built. The new Prime Minister said our country has grown and flourished under her reign. Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon paid tribute to Queen Elizabeth II, saying she was, quote, loved and admired by the people of Scotland. She also had a sense of humor. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres described the Queen as, quote, a good friend of the UN, adding, she was a reassuring presence through decades of sweeping change, including the decolonization of Africa and Asia and the evolution of the Commonwealth. Pope Francis also mourned the Queen's death, praising her, quote, steadfast witness to faith in Jesus Christ. In an open letter to King Charles III, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said it was, quote, with the heaviest of hearts that Canada learned of the monarch's passing, while Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese praised the Queen's devotion to, quote, duty, family, faith, and service. The Queen was head of state in both Canada and Australia. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden called the Queen a, quote, steadying presence. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth was more than a monarch. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II was more than a monarch. She defined an era, they said in a statement. President of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins, said the country had lost, quote, a remarkable friend. Her Majesty served the British people with exceptional duty. Her personal commitment to her role and extraordinary sense of duty were the hallmarks of her period as Queen, which will hold a unique place in British history. Higgins said, in a hugely symbolic moment in 2011, the Queen became the first British monarch to make a state visit to the Republic of Ireland. Numerous king, queens, and royal families of other countries have also sent messages of sympathy. King Felipe VI of Spain, King Abdullah II of Jordan, Norway's King Harald, and King William Alexander, Queen Maxima, and Princess Beatrix of the Netherlands all sent condolences. And she was a friend of the Danish Queen also. But she's watching over all of them now, so yeah, may her soul rest in peace. See you next time.